Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another episode of the Chocolate Shake. Inshallah, today I'd like to talk about what just came across my newsreel. And as I thought, and as I hope, and I really hope that this will be the case, we now have a reason why VP Kamala Harris lost the election. We have strong evidence anyway to say that that's the case. So before I go any further, let me source the material. You can go to YouGov and look that up. The report was written by Ryan Grimm. All right, I believe it's YouGov.org, or it could be UW.com. I believe it's UW.org. But for those of us who follow progressive or leftist news, then you know that Ryan Grimm is a serious reporter and not one to take lightly. He's like on the level of the Chris Hedges, etc. Okay, so look it up for yourselves. But this is basically what he wrote, and these are the findings of YouGov.org, okay, which is one of those groups that go about making sure that they collect data to find out what happened with these presidential elections. It is said that 29% of people who voted for President Joe Biden did not go to the polls this time for Kamala Harris. And the reason, when asked, why didn't you go and support the Democratic Party this time? 29% of those people said because of what happened with Gaza. They did not want to support a genocide. And there you have it. So now we know the real reason why 29% of Joe Biden's voters did not make it to the polls. Oh, it wasn't because of black men don't want to support a black woman. Black men don't want to support a woman. Black men, they're patriarchal. This lie that they wanted to put on black men early on, they came out attacking the black male voters who've always shown that we'll give 80% or better of our votes to the Democratic Party. And this time was no different. It was no different. I think it still ended up here right around 80%, 78, 79, whatever it is. But it was right around that 80% that we always give nationwide, right? Black women always being better at voting for the Democrats than anybody else. And the Latinos, that was the next thing. Oh, Latino men, they didn't vote for Kamala Harris because they're patriarchal. They're conservative. They want to keep that dominance over women. So the Latinos not coming out, right? We had all these groups come out, basically feminist groups attacking Latino men. Once some of the data came out that in fact it wasn't black men, that we did what we always do, vote about 80% for the Democratic Party. Now they had to have another culprit, another enemy to aim at. Instead of aiming at the obvious enemy, right? They're never going to aim at the white man. That's not going to happen, right? They're not going to aim at daddy, the real daddy of the nation. But they'll aim at, the sons, right? And the slaves. They aim at us. But they're not going to aim at daddy, the real culprit, right? Which we're about to prove that in a minute. So now you have 29% of these people. Now let's break down that 29%. So we know it wasn't the black men. It wasn't the Latino men, even though we had the feminists talking about why women shouldn't give their men sex. These people are ridiculous. They were actually saying that because Latino men, and they also threw us in there too, black men didn't vote for Kamala Harris, that, their women shouldn't give them sex. And the single women were saying, well, we're not going to vote anybody. We're not going to date anybody who voted for either Trump or who didn't support VP Harris. And they went on this whole thing. I forgot what they call it. It's a movement that came out of Korea, right? Where the Korean women wouldn't give their husbands and their boyfriends and their significant others, the males, sex because the men were voting more conservatively in Korea and ended up getting a conservative president, similar to the way we got Trump. So I forgot the name of the movement, but at any rate, we had some of the feminists try that here, and most of them were just little gay girls, these queer girls, and those who weren't queer were just outright man haters, right? Just absolute man haters. So they were going to get men anyway. So that it was just some nonsense. But the point I'm making is who they blame, right? That's the point, blaming. So now let's get to who's to really be blamed. The report tells us out of the 29% of Democrat voters who stayed home, who would not support Kamala Harris, they said that 34%, and I might be undercut, it might have been 36. I'm just going off the top of my head. I just heard the report about an hour ago. Let's go with the lower number. 34% of them said they did not support Kamala Harris because of her stance with Gaza, because she simply would not break with Biden. All they wanted her to do is in some speech or in some way say it with her mouth that she would break with Biden on Gaza, and she would not send any more money or weapons, and they would have supported the Democrats. They would have went to the poll and they would have supported her. 34%, and the majority of that 34% resided in those states that were called battleground states. And there you have it. The only state where they didn't have a significant amount of people saying so was Pennsylvania. But of course, in Michigan, Arizona, and what's the other one out there? Arizona and the other state escapes me. The one out west where they do the gambling. What's the state where they do the gambling, right? Those were the states that significantly showed that they were not about having American taxpayer money being used to genocide the Palestinians and support the Israelis. They did not like the way our government supported the state of Israel and how they just took taxpayer money and they just gave it to Israel to buy weapons to destroy people who could not fight them back. So it shows that, wow, my country actually has a heart. That some of the people in my country actually have a heart, because I was very concerned about that personally. Very concerned about that. I went to pray on that about this country. I tell you, because I could see nothing but doom coming for this country if the people did not rise up on that issue and say that we didn't support it. So they showed you by not coming to the polls that they actually have a heart, and that there are Americans who are saying that we do not appreciate the position of Biden. We do not appreciate the position of anyone who says that we will support Israel like that against the Palestinians. We will not support that. And we're going to show you, and we're going to punish you. So now we know why VP Harris lost. She lost because she wouldn't break with Joe Biden. 34%. So since I'm getting percentages, let's talk about the Latinos now. How many Latinos didn't show up to the poll? Because in that 29%, that is, how many of the 29% of people who did not support the Democratic Party this time, who supported Joe Biden the last time, how many did not go out? Latino persons did not go out. They're saying 26%. So now 34% of our white brothers and sisters didn't support the Democrats like they normally would. This time, 26% of Latinos did not support the Democrat Party because of what was going on in Gaza. And I'm going to stop it right there. So I'm not even going to talk about, now the numbers go down with the Arab community, other communities, other Middle Eastern communities that may not be Arab, or other Eastern communities that may not be Arab. And then black people. Only 9% of black Americans said they didn't go to the polls because of Gaza. Now that's shocking. That shows a lower percentage of black Americans who normally we are at the head of these affairs. Now we're at the bottom of this affair. Now that's shocking, and that hurts as a black American. Black people better pull their politics together, I'm telling you. We better get our politics together. We have to now start to learn how to break with the Democrat Party, start giving support to someplace else. Otherwise, when these people get destroyed, we will be on the boat with them. Now, I know there are people who are looking at my videos, have already called me, told me, family members, non-family members. I lost clients. I think maybe 2 clients I've lost because of these same videos. But it's all right. But it's all right. People are entitled to move the way they want to move, because this mouth is going to say exactly what this heart and this mind has put together, and how I frame it and how I see it. That will not change. So if you're a family member, you don't want to support me or talk to me, fine, take your ass on. That goes for clients and anybody else. I'm done. I'm going to say this thing on this channel. I'm going to speak to people what's coming out of my heart and what it is that my head can put together. Wallahi, that will be the situation. By God, that will be the situation. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out. I don't have a lot of time. I have to be to work shortly, but I wanted to show why this woman lost. And Ryan Grimm in this report goes on to say that this is apparently the major reason. And he said, now, if it's not the major reason, it is certainly one of the major reasons. If it's not the premier reason why VP Harris lost, it's amongst the top reasons why VP Harris lost. And brothers and sisters, there you have it. All right. So Trump is sitting in that office primarily because of that issue. And when they ask these same people who did not come out to support VP Harris because she would not break with Biden over Gaza, they ask them about other issues. Then the other issues, according to this report, immigration came in second. Things like crime came in third. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Immigration came in second. Economy came in third. I think they said something like crime came in fourth. The typical stuff that America, always is dealing with and troubled by. All right. So I just wanted to share that because of the ugliness that, first of all, was hurled toward Black American men. And these lies that they would always come at us with these lies, it's the black man's fault, right? And then once they couldn't put the noose around our neck and hang us this time, oops, sorry about that, YouTube. I keep forgetting. YouTube don't like that type of language. So, pardon me. So, they couldn't blame it on black men this time. So then they went to the Latinos. Oh, it's the Latino man's fault. It's those Latino males, right? Now we're saying, no. The majority of the people who did not support VP Kamala Harris this time, they did not support her over her not breaking with Biden with this genocide of the Israelis on to the Palestinians. And the majority of those persons were white Americans, as always, 34%. And there you have it. All right, brothers and sisters, I'm done. If you appreciate anything I said, do the old man a favor and like this episode. And if you have not already, please subscribe to my channel. Love y'all. Take care. Peace.